They thought she was a normal student until they saw her braiding her own head in the middle of the night. In the early 2000s, Holy Trinity Missionary Girls Boarding School sat quietly at the edge of a small Nigerian town. Tall palm trees surrounding the iron-gated compound. The smell of morning pap drifting from the dining hall, and the sound of girls' shoes tapping the gravel as the school bell rang each day. It was a strict school, the kind where rules were iron like the bunk beds, and punishments were as cold as the tiled hostel floors. One Monday morning, a new girl arrived, Ijeoma, 13 years old, soft-spoken, expression so calm, almost too calm. Her blue and sky blue school uniform sat neatly on her slender frame, and her comb rose, tight, perfect lines, packed to the back in neat knots. It looked as if they had just been braided that morning by a professional. The other girls whispered, "Something about this girl is off. She moved too quietly, too lightly. Sometimes her steps didn't make a sound at all. But the teachers liked her. She was so obedient, respectful, and always early to the assembly ground. Only one person hated her for no reason. Senior Amarachi. Amarachi was one of those seniors who used power like a whip. Loud, sharp-tongued, feared. She bullied junior students the way some people breathe. Effortlessly, constantly, and Ijeoma became her newest target. Small witch, Amarachi called her. Idiot girl, you can't even wash simple toilet. Each morning, Ijeoma was assigned to wash the hostel toilet, one of the worst chores. And one day, after a long night of exhaustion, Ijeoma forgot.
What are you doing here? Is that how to scrub toilets in your village? Senior Amarachi, I scrubbed it well.
That was all Amarachi needed. It was as if she was waiting for the day she was going to enter her trap. She dragged Ijeoma by the arm, ignoring her quiet protests, marched her into the hostel storeroom, opened the tall metal cupboard where brooms and scrubbing brushes were kept, and shoved her inside.
This will be your punishment, and you will not come out until I decide.
Before Ijeoma could speak, the padlock snapped shut. Amarachi pocketed the key and walked off, angry. But as the day passed, the school bus arrived. Parents came to take their children home. Students began leaving for midterm break. Hostel emptied. Noise faded. The school grew silent. And Amarachi forgot, and she went home for holidays. Ijeoma's parents were in the school, searching for her. They searched and searched and searched until they were exhausted. They didn't see Ijeoma, so they went home, disappointed. They went straight to the police station to lay a complaint, and the police assured them that Ijeoma will be found. Amarachi went home with her parents, laughing, eating, watching TV, until 2 weeks later when she was eating and suddenly froze, spoon dropping from her hand. "The cupboard," she whispered. Her breath caught. Her chest tightened. She almost choked on her food. But she said nothing to anyone. Fear sealed her mouth. Every time she slept, she saw ghosts and figures on her walls. And she became so afraid because she knew what she had done. Sometimes in the middle of the night, she hears her name loudly. Amarachi, Amarachi, Amarachi. And her parents rushes in to see what is happening to her. It happened so many nights that her parents had to ask her if anything was wrong. But she said nothing to anyone. What she didn't know was that something had happened in that cupboard. Something not meant for the living to understand. School resumed. Girls returned, carrying buckets, boxes, provisions. Chatter filled the compound again, and then Ijeoma returned too, walking calmly through the school gate, carrying her box, smiling faintly. Amarachi nearly fainted when she saw her. You, how did you come out? She stuttered, voice cracking. Ijeoma's smile widened, but her eyes didn't move with it. A student heard my voice and broke the padlock, she said softly. Her tone was calm, too calm. Amarachi stepped back, trembling. From that day, strange things began happening in the hostel. Ijeoma's hair was always freshly braided, every single day, even though the students only braided once a week. She never ate in the dining hall, yet she told everyone she was full. Instead, she quietly slipped her plates to Kosi, her only friend, who happily ate it, never suspecting anything wrong. The truth is that the food was cooked with salt, and ghosts cannot withstand salt. But none of the girls knew that. Now, this night was the night that everything changed. One student woke up in the middle of the night to eat herself. The hostel was dark, the iron bunks creaking softly with sleeping bodies. As she walked past Ijeoma's bunk, she froze. There on the hostel floor was Ijeoma, her head detached from her body, resting on her own lap. She sat calmly braiding the cornrows on her severed head, fingers moving quickly in the dim light. The girl screamed.
Jesus!
Ijeoma's body turned sharply. Her head vanished, and her entire form dissolved into thin air. There was chaos, and all the students started running from one place to another with their lamps on their hands. Some were flying from one bunk to the other out of fear. They all ran, screaming, even though they didn't know what the problem was. They screamed until the teachers rushed in. Whispers filled the school. Fear grew like a shadow. Even the matron began investigating, walking with her kerosene lantern at night, sensing that something in the hostel was wrong, deeply wrong. She quickly addressed the students and urged them to go back to sleep. She even prayed for them. This was typical of a missionary school. They all went back to sleep that night. Some of them didn't sleep at all. They had to stay awake till the next morning. And then came the final night. Amarachi could not sleep. Guilt gnawed at her. She kept remembering Ijeoma's strange smile, the lie about the cupboard, the girl who screamed after seeing something impossible. At midnight, Amarachi stood up from her iron bunk and slowly walked to Ijeoma's corner. Her heart thudded. Her hands shook. She pulled the thin curtain aside, and what she saw nearly stopped her heart. Ijeoma sat upright on her bed, but her neck had stretched down and down and down from her shoulders all the way to her knees. Her long, elongated head rested neatly between her legs as she braided her own hair with unnatural speed. Her eyes were open. Her face was blank. Her fingers moved faster than human hands could. Amarachi gasped. Elongated head snapped upward like a whip. Ijeoma's face rose slowly up, the impossibly long neck rising until it reached its normal position. Her eyes, dark, hollow, endless, locked onto Amarachi, and suddenly she vanished. Not a sound, not a trace, just cold air where she had sat. Amarachi screamed, a scream that shook the entire hostel. Amarachi collapsed to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably.
I locked her in the cupboard. I locked her there. I forgot. I killed her. Oh God, I killed her.
Her confession poured out like blood from a wound. By morning, the school board had gathered. The police were informed. Amarachi was expelled on the spot and taken to juvenile detention, trembling, unable to speak clearly. The students never forgot that night. And sometimes, late at night, those who lived in the old Trinity hostel swore that they could still hear it. The soft, rhythmic sound of cornrows being braided in the darkness.